Hey guys, it's NitroBex, and I got a build for you today. This is a Hades with a Storm A dripping atomizer. This is a bottle of juice. This is not what we're building today. This is what I'm going to vape while we're building something else. Today I'm building one of the most popular mechanicals going. The NitroBex. Now, I picked this package up from Stars and Stripe Vapor. The whole package was about 60 bucks. You're going, I can get it cheaper. We're going to be talking about magnets too. And these magnets are the ones from Super Magnet Man. They sell them at Stars and Stripe Vapor. I'm going to do the entire teardown on this mod and rebuild it all the way back up. Because this is the number one thing I wind up troubleshooting at meets, is this Nemesis. So we're going to pull off the top part here. Now on the top part there is air channels, and on the connector there's air channels, and there's two little divots below it. If you're using something that needs to pick up air from the 510, line those up when you put it on. If you're using something that doesn't use the 510, it doesn't matter. It sets on with an O-ring. Okay, so next we have the 510 cap. That screws off. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. We have one tube, the beauty ring, or the kick ring as some people call it. Another tube, the switch assembly, which we're going to pull further apart, the base tube, and the locking ring. Okay, now I'm going to move the magnets and all the extra tubes out of the way. Okay, so what I got left here is the 510 connector and the switch. The 510 connector has this screw thing here on it. This is how you set your addy height and your battery tension. Never ever ever use that one for battery tension. So let's get into why you never want to do that. How you take the switch apart is you press down on it, and then that little pin inside will rotate, and you unscrew it. Now when you're doing this, hold tension down on the Delrin insulator, otherwise it will fly apart on you. Okay, so I have that off. Now we're going to let go of this slowly, watching that little tiny brass pin. That little pin, without it, your mod doesn't work. Okay, now in here you have that little brass pin I was talking about. You have a silver spring, and then you have like a copper spring that is more like a twisted piece of metal. I've had so many vapors go, I broke my spring. No, it's like that, and you can actually get rid of that. I don't know what purpose it serves, but it works without it. Now if you're building this with the spring, the easiest way to do it is to put the spring into the grooves around the post, then put this on, then flip the whole thing upside down, but we're going to build this with magnets. So I'm going to take the spring, and it goes away. Now, these magnets are extremely strong depending on the version you get. Some are stronger than others, some you need to multiple up on. Never ever let them like collide from a distance away. They will break. And what you want to do is, right now they're attracting each other. I want to flip one of them over so they're pushing away from each other. Okay, and I'm going to put one on there, and then I'm going to put the other one in. As I put it down, you can see it wants to go away. It doesn't want to be near that other one. Now we're going to take our switch body. You want the brass part down. This is your insulator that lets the pin come up. If you do it this way, it auto fires. If you do it this way, it functions properly. So you press that over the ring. Now you're going to have, this is a little difficult because I have to hold pressure on it because I got magnets in there. You have a little groove in there you need to line up so it becomes round. Round, 2 half circles. Round, 2 half circles. You want to line it up so it's round. And then that little tiny pin has to go in that hole. And again, you want to keep the pressure all the way down on this. And I find it's easier to rotate it so the hole is away from your hand, so you have the most room to work as possible. Alright, line it up, slide that pin in. Now if for some reason you do lose this pin, you can use a coat hanger. You can use paper clips. Any small, round, rigid metal thing will work in there. The pin stops the button from rotating. That's the whole purpose of it. I know exactly what's wrong. I need a vape. Alright, so we got the pin in there. Take your negative pin, your bottom pin, your ground pin, whatever you want to call it, the bottom thing that screws in, and you screw that all the way down. Now there are some people that will go in here with pliers and tighten it up. I'm normally talking about, you know, never over tightening. This, you want it pretty much as tight as you can get it without stripping it out. And as you see, that switch won't rotate on me now. Okay, so I need a vape. Again, that's the Storm B dripper, and you'll see why I'm talking about this here in a minute. So now we need to figure out which tubes we need. So lining everything up here. Now I'm going to grab some batteries. Okay, so 18650, 18500, and 18350. Those are your 3 choices for batteries. First thing you want to do is find the segment that has the logo on it, find your locking ring, screw on your locking ring all the way up. Okay, now from here we want to install the switch, but just barely. So that's nowhere near right. Okay, but it will give us an idea. So I'm going to start with the 18350. If I want to run 18350, I just use this bottom section. And then it all tightens up, and this is my 18350 setup. Okay. If I want to use 18490, you guessed it, I put on the intermediate size one, drop the battery in, it screws up and functions. Okay. If I want to use an 18650, take the whole thing apart again. Put on the long one. 18650 goes in. Top part goes on. Okay, so this and this, if you put it on together again, I believe it will let you use a kick with an 18650. We're not going to use this kicked. We're going to put a dripper on it. So I'm going to put on my thing that makes it flush. I'm going to take the whole thing back apart, and we're going to talk about switch some more. That's how you set this all up. So we know we're going to be running this 18650. So I'm going to leave these tubes together, and I'm going to leave the locking ring on. But I'm going to take the switch out, and we're going to talk about the switch. The switch in this is extremely nice, but extremely finicky. You know how I was saying keep it all the way down? One of the most common things I see, other than a lost pin, is somebody adjusting through here to adjust for the height of the battery and not on the top post. Okay? And what they wind up with is a switch that looks like that. There's a huge gap, it wiggles, it's crunchy, and the pin's about to fall out. You do not want to do that. It is vitally important that you have this down and that's screwed down. Okay? So, now that we got the switch discussion out of the way again, let's get ready to put an addy on this. I'm going to take another vape. I'm going to move the tubes out of the way because we're going to work on this 510 connector. It does have the top part on it. I'm going to take this Storm A dripper and show you how to adjust for battery height and a nice flush mount. I'm going to start by screwing this screw all the way in, just so you can see what it looks like when it's not adjusted right. Huge gap in between there. Okay? So you definitely don't want that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back this out. This is what I love about the Storm gripper. I can leave it on its side without getting juice everywhere. I have that pin backed out all the way, but this is not going to be making contact. So you screw your addy down flush, and then you screw up the bottom pin until it's making firm contact. You don't want to wrench on it and push the pin on your addy, just till you get some resistance, and then snug it up just a tad. Alright, now mod comes apart, so we have the top part of the mod together. We have the bottom part of the mod together. Nothing is adjusted yet. So I'm going to put a battery in here. I'm going to screw the mod together. Lovely battery rattle. We know we have the top part adjusted. What I want to do is screw in the switch until I feel a little bit of positive pressure. I take it out just a hair then. Alright. And we'll fire the addy. And again, we'll be talking about this addy more soon. I have vapor. Okay? That's how you do all the adjustments on it. You set the top pin for your addy. You screw your switch in until it makes contact. And then you set the lock ring. That's how you replace the screws. How you maintain and get your mod working right so it doesn't fall apart. Hope this has been helpful. More importantly, hope I don't have to fix as many of them at local meets. We'll talk to you guys soon.